Well, originality for those type of instruments, first and foremost, it's like less is more. You know, the least amount of stuff we can modify or take away from the instrument, the better. But for that one specifically, we have a spec for archtops. We have a spec for acoustics, a spec for electrics, spec for bass. And we get those specs from our clients. You know, obviously there's factory specs. You can go on the Fender website and the Warwick website and see what the spec is supposed to be for the action. But in my experience, we have enough professional clients that are extremely picky about, you know, action and the way their guitar feels and plays, because they're in studios, they're under a microscope, you know, it has to work, it has to play in tune, it can't buzz. And so when we get those type of players in, once they're satisfied with the guitar, I just measure it and go, okay, every single electric guitar gets that spec from now on. Every bass gets the John Gray spec from now on. We use Matty McKay for our electric guitars. Aaron Young for our acoustic spec, you know, because if it works for those guys, they're playing stadiums with these guitars. It's and then there's room to move. So we warranty our setups, so any adjustments are free. If you don't like exactly that spec, you bring it back and we can move it a little higher, a little bit lower, or we can adjust the truss rod for you so that it works the way you want it to work.
So when you're working with these different artists, are there any particular notable musicians that people would have more commonly heard of that are interesting to talk about?
Well, I mean, being in Calgary, there's a huge country scene.
Yeah, of course.
So like we just had the CCMAs, the Canadian Country Music Awards, were just in Alberta last week, and we swept the field. I mean, the bass player, Lisa Jacobs, we do all her basses. Guitarist of the year, Brennan Wall, he lives 2 blocks away. I see him once a week. Matty McKay, our electric guitar spec, I mean, he won Guitarist of the Year, I think 5 years ago. But he won Steel Player of the Year this year.
Yeah, I heard that.
So yeah, it's like I've dealt with Brett Kissel and Gord Bamford. Corb Lund called me last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like the Calgary country scene. I mean, we've worked with Kyle McCurney and Devin Cooper, you know, some up-and-coming artists who you may or may not have heard of yet, but you will in the next year. You know, Robert Adam. But we also do the rock stuff. I have jazz clients. I mean, we're not too particular. We do lots of metal, like pointy guitars with Floyd Roses. We do lots of that sort of stuff too. Biff Naked's band came in when they were in town last week. And so once in a while we get touring artists